Alright, guys, let's talk another Halloween classic that I watch every year in October, usually the weekend of Halloween. So it turned out being on Halloween this year, which is awesome. And it's great to be able to talk about Mario Bava again, like within a few days of just watching Kill Baby Kill, because it's always just a treat to watch Bava. So 1963's Black Sabbath, which for some reason, people who don't know, obviously, where the band Black Sabbath got their name. It was from the name of this movie. And we have just the legendary Boris Karloff here doing the whole opening narration and his little skit that he gets at the beginning of this. And at the end, that closes it off, which I love, with him on the horse. And then you just pan back and you see just like the people running with the trees, and it's so cool. Like, it's such a cool ending for this movie. But we have three segments, and this is going to be kind of quick because I don't know. I always find it like harder to talk about anthologies. Probably just because of how I dive into tangents and theories and shit like that. And I guess like the plots for anthology segments, since they're shorter, obviously, like there's not as much substance to the plot and stuff to talk about. Maybe I don't know. That's my theory for why it's harder for me to talk about anthologies. But this is an absolute classic. Like, this is like one of the best anthologies in horror. Like, I always put Creepshow as my number one. Creepshow 2 is real close to it. And then, like, this one and Trilogy of Terror are, like, the best. And this is just such another masterpiece from Bava, like every other film that he does. So the telephone is the first one, and we have this girl Rosie, who pretty sure it's implied that she's a prostitute, right? And like Frank, the guy who comes up at the end, but that she thinks is calling her, is her pimp. Like, oh, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But she's receiving phone calls, weird phone calls, and getting threats and saying that you're going to be dead by dawn, and like Evil Dead 2. And you could see so much early Giallo like shapings and stuff in this segment here. Like, this is just a year before Blood and Black Lace. And like I said in my video for Kill Baby Kill, like that's Blood and Black Lace is pretty much considered by most people to be like the first like true Giallo. But you can definitely see certain traits and tropes of that genre and everything before it even became really a genre in this segment, like for sure. Just like, and it's good with tension throughout. For the first time, when you don't know what's happening, I feel like it's a little bit boring after like your first viewing and you know what's going to happen. This film, even though I do consider it a masterpiece for Bava, like just the directing, the use of color and lighting again, like always with him, and all of that, the atmosphere, especially in the second segment, the Warlock, and just the creepiest face in horror history, with in the drop of water, but it is pretty much, it suffers from the same syndrome that Trilogy of Terror has for me. The first two segments just aren't great, like on repeat watches. They just aren't. You just want to get to that last segment. Everyone who's seen Trilogy of Terror, I don't know if most people can even name or say what the segments were, the two before the Zuni doll one at the end. That's what everybody remembers, is Karen Black being chased around with the Zuni doll. Same thing here, kind of. Everybody who loves this movie, or not, I wouldn't say loves this movie, like people love this movie, like we pretty much love most of it, but people who have just seen this movie in the past, because they used to show it all the time on TV, everyone remembers the last segment with that creepy fucking corpse ghost. Everyone. Like, that's like the most iconic thing from this entire anthology. So, but we get some cool camera shots in the first one, in the telephone, and just you could just see Bava's always had that fucking eye, man. Like, he's just fantastic with everything, every shot he sets up. And then it does do a great job of like making you feel like her fear and like Rosie's like how scared she is and how she's like basically terrified that this guy is because there's like a whole like small little plot to this that I always kind of forget. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that's her pimp, Frank, and I think like she testified against him, and that's why he's in jail. So like that, she's terrified that he's escaped and he's gonna come kill her. And then, but they do a good job. He does such a great job of just building tension and just like making you feel like kind of trapped in there with her and just watching like how fucking scared that she is that she might have a visit from this guy that she put in prison forever. But like I said, after like the first viewing and you know like the outcome of this segment, it's just a little boring for me. But I still watch it every year, so it's not like it's egregiously boring. And then she thinks that Frank is the one that's calling her, and she calls her. Now I don't know. It's kind of implied that these two women were in a relationship, right? Like I feel like that's heavily implied that they're lesbians. So like I'm guessing that she kind of just they broke up, and what the hell is the one's name? Mary is the one that she calls. Mary probably is still in love with her, so now she's doing it. It reminds me of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the Dennis system, when Dennis starts saying like, distance yourself, and then like try to have her like run back to you, like call her and like pretend to be like a sick neighbor and be like, you're gonna die tonight, and then she ends up calling Dennis and like running into her arms, and it reminds me just like that. Like I think of that every time, ever since that episode came out. Like that she's basically just scaring the shit out of her ex-lover to get herself over there and try to patch up the relationship. So she's just scaring the living shit out of her for just as a selfish fucking bitch. But the tension is great. And then Mary comes over, and then she has the knife, and you think that she's possibly gonna kill her right then and there. And then we see some nice, great lighting and stuff. The whole movie, every segment in this, but especially Drop of Water, like the lighting in that is phenomenal. And then Frank shows up when her name is Rosie, and when she's like sleeping in the bed, and then Frank actually does show up, and he strangles Mary, and then he's like, "Shit, you're always at the wrong place at the wrong time." So like he killed the wrong person. He was trying to kill Rosie, and then Rosie ends up stabbing him, and she just like cries and shit. So I mean, like it's a great segment just for the whole little giallo feel to it and everything. And like I said, there is a decent amount of tension in it, but like I said, it could be boring. Like I can definitely see people being bored as shit throughout that segment, like for sure. So then we have the second segment, the Wurdelak, which is like a dead human corpse that feeds upon blood. So kind of like a dead vampire, or like a zombie vampire or some shit. And great atmosphere, obviously, like as usual with Bava, like the fog and all the sets and stuff and the gothic feel to it, and just all of that is fantastic. And just Boris Karloff does great as the Wurdelak, like, well, the first one, like Gorka when he first comes back. And this is like in Russia in the 19th century. And we have the guy Vladimir who shows up, and he finds a decapitated corpse with like a special knife in it. And he ends up coming to this house, this like random family's house, and saying that he found this knife in a corpse. And it turns out being the owner of the house, his father's knife, who is Gorka, played by Boris Karloff. And he hasn't been around for like 5 days. He went out hunting. And then just like the sound design too in this, the whole movie, but like with the wind effects and everything, like it just sounds so good. Like even if like I said, like even though like these first two segments aren't anything like spectacular and can be a little boring, same thing with this one. Like this one could be a little boring too, but like this is like just the atmosphere of this movie alone makes it as classic as it is. And like it's for me, it's more of like for people who don't love Bava, just having it playing like on Halloween, like at one point, some point throughout your Halloween day every year, even if it's just playing in the background, just to have it as like background noise and background, like you can hear it and like you'll catch a glimpse of it every now and then. Still awesome. Like it just has such a great fucking tone and feel to it. Like especially for Halloween, like it feels so Halloweenish, the holiday, like which is awesome. And then like every set is just like I was saying, Kill Baby Kill, like with all the sets in the village, like awesome. Like every single set looks great. And then Gorka arrives back at the house as a Verdelak, and you hear when you hear the couple's young kid Ivan come back as a Verdelak. I love that word. And he's banging on the door and going, "Mama, Mama," and stuff. And then like you get the fucking sick shot from like behind the door and behind the kid, and you just see him leaning up against the door, like as he like says "Mama" and shit like that. Like it looks so cool. Like I love that shot. And she ends up stabbing her husband. Yeah, I skipped like a little bit, like a decent amount in the middle there, like between 2 points, because like just the atmosphere of this movie alone, like that's what I was saying. Like if you just have it in the background, because I just kind of like got sucked into the atmosphere and just completely just like stopped thinking and was just watching it. And then like 20 minutes, not 20 minutes, but like 10 minutes later, I was like, oh shit, like I haven't like written anything. I haven't thought really. I've just been like watching like the film, which is what this segment is very, very good at. Like just as like a visual marvel of like gothic horror. It looks so good. And then Vladimir and the girl that they fall in love or whatever find the crypt, and we have the cool shot of I like the quick little shot of the horses like riding through the snow. Like it's a very quick shot. It's like one or two shots, like real fast. But I really like those shots. Really cool. And then just pretty much every shot of Boris Karloff as Gorka in this whole segment. Just he looks so creepy. He looks fucking just like dead, like deader than dead, and it's so effective. It's great. And then the blonde girl. I always forget her name. The one who Vladimir falls in love with or whatever, goes at the end to kiss him, and she's a Warlock too, and ends up biting his neck, and that's the end of Vladimir and all that shit. So, like I said, just for the atmosphere alone, that's such a great segment. And just with Boris Karloff and his performance with the Warlock and the way he looks in every shot of him, great. Like, really cool stuff. And then, number 3, the best segment by far in this, and like I said, the most iconic one. By far, the drop of water, which just the name of it is fucking great. Just the fact when she goes to steal the ring later and it rolls under the bed, and when she's trying to pick it up and knocks the glass of water on the nightstand over, and then just the sound design is phenomenal in this segment. Like it really is. Like when she's back at her apartment and she's hearing the drips of water, like it sounds so good. And like always with every Bava film on Amazon Prime, it's always the Kino transfer, which looks fantastic. Like I don't collect physical media anymore, like for a long, long time. But God, man, the Kino transfers are absolutely gorgeous for Bava films. Like they really are. Absolutely look amazing. And we have this maid who's watching after this medium who ends up dying during a seance, and she calls the nurse Helen to come prepare the body for burial. And Helen the nurse arrives, and just the lighting and use of color in this segment is fucking masterful. Like with no surprise when it comes to Bava. Just like I said in Kill Baby Kill, just like with purple over here and here, and then you got green lighting over here, and like yellow on the other side, and just how it all combines together. It looks fucking fantastic. Like absolutely a marvel to look at. like with most Bava films. And then just the face, like the creepiest fucking face in the history of horror. In the tops, like five. But for every time, whenever someone mentions, like, what do you think is the creepiest, like, ghost or creepiest something, my mind always goes to this thing. Like, it really just, it's so, like, cheaply made. Like, you could tell. Like, some of the shots, it's a mannequin, and some of the shots, it was played by an actual person. But in all the shots, it looks so creepy. It's just like, you know how simply made it was. And like the makeup that's like very, very rudimentary stuff on the actor who played it. But god damn it, it looks so good. It looks so creepy, eerie, just dead, just like unsettling, unnerving, everything. It looks amazing. And she sees the blue sapphire ring, and she ends up stealing it, drops it, and drops over the water thing. And then just a shot of the fly on the corpse's finger. Awesome. Like it's such a small little shot, but it looks so fucking good. Like, and it just adds just a little bit more to the atmosphere. Just having this fucking fly just come by and just land on her hand, where the ring that would just stolen off that same hand. Like, looks so good. And then just, the water drip and the sound design is phenomenal. And then her eyes, when she shuts her eyes, and then when she goes back into the room, her eyes are back open again. Awesome. Like, so good. Like, come on. And then as soon as she gets home, the tension is unbelievable for the rest of the segment. Like, so fucking good. It's done so well. It's so effective. The music, just you know that this fucking crazy, ugly bitch, dead bitch, is going to be appearing somewhere in this apartment. Like, you know she's coming out. And you're just waiting for it, and waiting for it, and waiting for it, and hearing the dripping of the water, and just seeing the lighting or just changing like through every shot, and just it's fucking genius, man. It's fucking Bava. Like, come on, I really have to say how genius it is. And then the lights go off, and then we just get more awesome fucking color and lighting and everything. And just that whole, when she starts floating towards her, the corpse and stuff, and every shot of that corpse just looks so fucking creepy, so eerie, so amazing. Like, absolutely amazingly done. And then even the shot with her at the door frame, and then the corpse's hand comes from around the door frame and grabs her and pulls her in. Awesome. And then she ends up strangling herself to death. I guess the ghost made her kill herself. So she strangles herself to death, which, is that even possible? Strangle yourself to death? I'm sure that's got to be like very hard, because like your whole survival instinct's going to kick in as soon as you start cutting off enough air supply. And wouldn't that just stop yourself from doing it? I don't know. It's possible, but I'm sure, like, they should have the cops at the end, like, when they come and, like, find her dead body, and, like, her hands are around her neck. They should have a lot more questions than they seem to have. Like, I don't know. You don't see someone just suffocate themselves with their bare hands every single day. That's not, like, a common thing. So, I don't know. Like, I feel like they should have had, like, a bigger reaction with that. But then we get, like I said, the nice little ending with Boris Karloff on the horse and stuff, and the pan back with the people running with the trees and stuff. Looks so cool, and what a great anthology. Like, just it has the perfect mood, the perfect atmosphere, the perfect feel for Halloween or for October, but especially effective on Halloween, as I can say right now, because I don't think I've ever watched this exactly on Halloween. Always right, like, before it, but not on it, like, I'm pretty sure. So what a fun rewatch. And I got two other Halloween themed movies that I usually always watch that I want to get out before me, Mike, and Pat will jump on for John Carpenter's Halloween live stream watch along. So if you guys want to join us as we watch Carpenter's Perfect Halloween at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then we will see you there happily. And hope everyone's enjoying the Halloween so far. I will see you guys in a little bit. Take care.